We got a special two guests in the building. Their album comes out tomorrow. They had a crazy event last night in which it looked like if you walked in, you probably were tripping on some sort of stimulants, and there was tacos in the building. Majid Jordan is here.
What's up, Kevin?
fellas?
How you doing, brother? Thank you for having us.
Welcome to LA, man.
We're loving
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
man. Your second album comes out tomorrow. You guys excited?
Very. Like, we've said this before, but we've never believed in anything more. And we're just excited to share this little piece with the world that is going to, take us around the world and allow us to meet tons of new people, make new fans.
100%. What I like about you guys is obviously you make the beats. You're the singer. That's like very. There's not a lot of those dynamic, duos like back in the day. There was Gangstar, and more recently, obviously Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. But what gravitated you guys together? Like what about each other made this work?
I think we just had a like-mindedness that was hard to deny. We saw things the same way. We wanted to approach music the same way. We were both open-minded when it came to pulling from different influences and what we were listening to at the time and experimentation. So I think that was where it began. And the speed at which we finished songs was a huge thing. Like we made 2 songs in the first day that we got
dope.
together in the studio on our first mixtape. So I was just like, we went in thinking we'd maybe make 1 song, but we made 2 in a day, and then we were both looked at each other and were like, let's try and make a project. And then that's what ended up getting us signed. And this is our third project now on our label, and we're so happy to be at this point. There's been a lot of growth, a lot of learning, a lot of incredible, beautiful moments. So just happy to keep that moving.
Man. Yeah. Yo, who are some of your influences as a producer? Because I'm like a super producer nerd. I used to subscribe to Scratch Magazine back in the day before it got discontinued and all that.
Quincy Jones is #1, definitely. And then I got really influenced by a lot of house producers like Steve Lawler and Omar S, Fortet, Jamie XX, definitely. Burial, that whole UK scene when I was in high school was really influential to me.
That was awesome too, because when I met him and I was speaking about those producers at that time, I was like, oh, you're from here, and like there were a few years between us. He was only 17, but he had all this information and knowledge on it, and I was like, yo,
you guys like
you
on that
it.
wavelength
like,
already
sonically.
Yeah, that's dope. What you like go to, like what do you produce on?
Ableton, strictly Ableton.
Yeah,
My whole life
loving
performance
Ableton right
is Ableton, recording Ableton, producing Ableton, everything.
Like I heard if you don't know about Ableton, like once you figure it out, like it's just like that's all you need.
At least for me, it was a wrap. I started on GarageBand, and then I went to Reason, and then Reason to Ableton. I haven't really
haven't looked back.
Yeah.
It's lit. I saw that you tweeted that you were just listening to the Good Kid, Mad City. Obviously, the 5-year anniversary of the album just passed, which makes me feel really old because it feels like it came out like 2 years ago.
Well,
Honestly,
that album came out when we were first getting to work together. So
that was like,
so we would like be finishing our demos, driving home, playing them, and then playing Good Kid, Mad City behind at the same time, and just letting that run through. The skits on that album are beautiful.
Oh yeah,
the phone conversations, like the way they say, yo, Kendrick, like, understand your privilege, understand what you can do, what you can give back. I think that's a really important message, and we're really all about that. Toronto, I feel, is about that too. Just like finding young talent, trying to develop it, trying to tell young kids to believe in themselves the way that you have to if you want to be successful.
100%, man.
Yeah, Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick, the metric for which a lot of artists
I think it's like safe to say probably the best hip hop album in the last. I mean, it's like that and Beautiful
I don't
Dark
even want to
Twisted
leave
Fantasy.
anybody out, but it's one of my favorite albums, period, of all time, regardless of genre.
Of course. So. Obviously, you guys are from Canada. Well, you're originally from Bahrain, right?
That's right. Yeah, Bahrain.
But living in Canada, how much do you guys laugh at our president and how much of a jackass he is from afar, knowing that you guys don't have to worry about too much of it because you can always just.
I mean, I feel like there's no humor in it.
It's fucked up. For sure.
Yeah,
it's scary.
And I feel like as Canadians, we have the. I feel like we have the opportunity right now to kind of address that even more. So
go out and vote. Make sure you know what's happening locally. Make sure you know who's running for your Senate, who's your representative, because they make decisions as well. It's not just the president.
Of course, we were just talking about that off the mic. Like, there's an election coming up, like a local election. Everybody should definitely go participate in that.
Yo, let them know right now.
Yeah.
Where should they go? This is it.
for people from the United States, like obviously, like the whole entire healthcare thing and the way it works in Canada is always kind of brought up, and there are certain politicians that aspire to have the United States kind of have a similar model. What is it? Is it dope? Like, having free healthcare and not having to worry about certain stuff. Like, what is that like? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I feel like Canada's
so
the
like
best
if you get
place to
sick,
live.
just what happens? You just
You gotta
pull
go.
up.
Yeah, you gotta go to the hospital. You gotta register. You gotta wait. It takes time, but you get treated. And depending on the severity of your condition, is how quickly you'll
pushes
be
you up.
attended to. You
Gotcha.
know what I mean? But it's definitely a security. A lot of people are growing older in Canada. They're going to need healthcare. They're going to need pensions. They're going to need support. And I think, in Bahrain, a lot of family. It's very family oriented. So, as people grow older, they stay closer to the family and
Right.
live in the home. Whereas, if you come over to Canada or the States, people start
They start
going to
leaving.
old
Yep,
people
yep.
homes and things like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
getting forgotten, basically. So it's important to have that healthcare because it's almost like a guard for people who have been sort of isolated in their older age. And I have a neighbor back home, Mimi. She lives across the street from me. I see her every day. She's like, "Hey, Maj, where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm going to LA. I'm going to here." And I feel comfortable knowing that she's in Canada because she's going to be
She's gonna be
She's
cool.
going to be okay. She's like 90 years old, so it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Obviously, like I feel like Drake and the OVO sound, like I think sonically he's really brought a lot of just dope vibes to the forefront. I think that the whole like roster of the label is just something that like was probably missing from music like your guys' division, obviously parties. What is it about Toronto that I feel like you guys are just on another level when it comes to just is it because you guys are more of a worldly city? Is it? I mean, what?
I don't think it's about being worldly because LA is very diverse too.
It is, but like
I think it's
it is, but it isn't.
It's also we have somebody right now in Drake that's really putting the city on the map, and the people that are around him and us have really impeccable taste. Like Oliver
For
is
sure.
always curating playlists and music that he's looking for. 40, he's always drawing from inspiration. Like he's a big R&B lover. And they oversee everything with such detail.
Yes, for sure.
And then they have
Very
people in their
meticulous.
lives, like there are mentors, but then their mentors are still around in the studio, like telling them how to use the latest equipment, retro equipment, how things were done before, how things should be done now. So all that information just being traded across generations,
This is dope.
it's invaluable.
for sure.
Yeah.
What's your relationship like with 40? Obviously, he's kind of like the
He's my mentor. He's my big brother. He taught
Genius.
me a lot. He taught me a lot, man. I came into this and I met him when I was like 17. So he basically that was the first time I saw a real recording studio. And even though I was like making music and I guess I was a producer, I didn't really know what like a producer.
were you like
role
more
was.
making beats at the time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know what I
there's
mean?
like a difference, right?
And a huge difference. A lot of people make beats and it's cool, but they got to know the difference between a beat maker and a producer. A producer actually takes that and structures it and creates and produces the record.
And we'll call like the violinist to come through and play on the record.
And he's
You know what I
still
mean?
part of
Anything.
production.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like-
exactly.
yep.
Yeah,
It's like
So
making the product.
Yeah, he really taught me what that term means and like what responsibility you have as a producer.
Yeah.
He's a very like behind the scenes guy. What's some of the best advice on this project? Did he like sonically? Did he like have his hands on a certain track that like maybe he told you guys to go back in and change something?
Yeah, he had a few notes. Definitely, we were back and forth with it, and I always appreciate that,
Right.
because I'm looking for that with him, and he's the busiest guy, He's got his hands in everything, so. To be able to sit down with him and go back and forth about what he thinks, and he's giving me ideas, and I kind of like this reference. I heard this reference a year ago. This one was cool. So it's like our communication is just on that level where it's like it's very open, and that the project that we just finished, everybody's happy with it at the end.
Now I'm curious because when it comes to groups where there's a producer and a singer, are you strictly just producing for you guys currently? So
Yeah.
will there be a point where like
Yeah.
If,
no, I mean,
if Abel hit you up for a beat, you're like, yo, I got you, my G. Like,
we came into this together, you know, and the person that I want to make music with is Majid, straight up, you know. So it's like anytime I'm making music, I have him in mind.
That's dope.
You know,
it's beautiful.
And also the beautiful thing about it is because we have two people, I'm very focused on the music and Majid is very focused on the writing. So when we have a song, we kind of both talk about where we could take that to another person, like who we can collaborate with instead of, you know, being separated and yeah, I just maybe one day, but you know, we're on a roll, you know, and everything is great, and I wouldn't make music with anybody else.
The record with Party, was that a record that, because it's obviously a heavily Party's on it a lot.
Yeah.
Is that a record that he had already had written, or was that an idea you guys brought to him?
I went to LA for a little bit, about a year ago, and then me and Party got into the studio, and I had that beat, and I was like really hyped on that beat for like months, and we tried some stuff on it before. And then he kind of just like banged out that idea in like 40 minutes while I was in the room. We had a few more ideas, but that one really stuck out. And then I went home, and then Maj heard it, and he was like, yo, this is crazy. And that, you know.
Yeah, basically wrote the idea. But as soon as I heard it, I wrote a verse to it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let's try and track this. Came back to LA and tracked the verse. And yeah, he tracked his part, and that's it. It was done.
What about on your end? Obviously, Party's somebody who writes for everybody and their mom. He's probably the most prolific songwriter in the game right now.
Yeah,
when it comes to just like the last couple of years, it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Are you like planning on writing for any other artists? Or
I would love to write with other people, but for now, as Jay said, we're like focusing on ourselves, and this project is really a moment that we're proud of. It's like it's a benchmark right now that we've set, that it's a milestone that we've achieved, and we're so excited to share it with people. We're so excited for people to hear it with people that they care about, that they love, that they can come to shows with and enjoy one another and live that experience.
It's all about the vibes, man.
It's just that energy is undeniable when we play shows live, and to feel that's all we want to keep happening. So
it really shaped this album.
For now, like collaborations are definitely coming. Collaborations are definitely coming, but at the moment we're focused on ourselves.
It's like anything in music, right? It's like when I feel like we're just the type of people we don't ever tell each other like we got to go to work and make a song, you know. So it's like when collaborations can be like that,
right?
And they can be forced, and that's, you know, you don't want to get into that. So the way we've collaborated with everybody is like we're friends with them first, and it's like we just walk into the studio. We don't even we never have that conversation of let's make a record, because you're already setting this bar, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, some people see like a feature being like, oh, I gotta jump on this harder than what it was. Whereas
like competing with people,
for us, it's like, how can we use our feature or your feature to elevate something than it previously was?
That's dope.
So that's what we're looking for in collaboration.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are obviously heavily music driven. Your guys' public personas. We all know about the music, but what do you guys do in your personal life? Do you guys watch Netflix? Do y'all play fantasy football?
Oh man, we're playing a fantasy game right now.
Yo, we're just like stuck on the Nintendo Switch right now. That's the
Switch.
most incredible console. Mario is coming out the day our album comes out.
Wow.
So
it
we're
comes
gonna
out
be
tomorrow.
we're gonna be celebrating.
I've been trying to get one, but they're sold out everywhere.
I know, we tried.
You should come to Canada.
I just got the Sony, the classic, you know, the Super Nintendo
Did you get
classic.
that one?
Oh yeah,
that one's sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
That shit is
That was
lit.
crazy.
It's like 99 games, right? And for like 99
I
bucks
wish it
or
was
something.
99 games. It's like 30. But
that's still
but
a
it's
lot.
like the
That's
30
a
ones
lot.
that count.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And you can hack
we've been playing like, because, you know, we've been traveling pretty frequently recently. Like every plane ride, everything, we're just like both like playing Legend of Zelda. Like, yo, how did you beat this temple? Like,
it's dope because
I'm trying to break the
just
game
take it
right
with
now.
you
I'm trying to
everywhere.
win every mission. It's really
He's winning right now.
I haven't played a game like this in years.
Are you guys OG Zelda guys, or is this like?
Since Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's the 64.
Yeah, that was the last time I played a game as intensely as I've been playing this. And there's something to say about Nintendo. I just feel like I relate to, even when we're making music. I feel like Nintendo is accessible to so many people. It doesn't matter if you're old or young. There's like different skill levels can still play that game and win.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we're making music, we want young people to hear it as much as older people to hear it. So that even the way they build their worlds and that fantasy aspect and that sort of
it's very friendly.
It's very friendly and approachable, but it's also fantastic. And like, how did they think of this? And how that detail, why is it there? But it's all the difference because I haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
So moments like that touch us, and we try to put that into this album as well. There are little details in the album that just sort of communicate to people who are going to be listening to this project for the first time, maybe haven't even heard of us before.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, that. And then when they go back, they'll see in the other projects where maybe the starting point of those kind of moments came from. So
that's dope. What's a hidden talent each one of you guys have?
I'm a mad football player,
Yeah, you are.
like soccer.
We're talking about soccer here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mad. Don't try.
So you're nice. You're nice
I'm
with the
nice.
footy.
I'm nice.
What about you, man?
I
Besides having
can
awesomely
skate a
blue
little
hair.
bit. I can skate a little bit.
You can skate?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Just a
But
little bit.
I don't know. I make music every single day, all day. So I'm just trying to think.
Hey, man, I respect it.
You know?
Yeah.
I
No, we
respect
don't
it.
like. Yeah, our passion.
I feel like I'm a good food critic.
So you're a foodie.
Yeah, I'm a foodie.
Nice.
I love food.
Do you partake in Yelp reviewing?
No, but I'll be.
See,
I'm guilty for reading.
Have you
them
Yelp
every once
reviewed?
in a while? You know.
A few
Yelp
times.
is hard for restaurants. Who knows? Because like there's so many variables.
ruin
like,
your whole
maybe, like
shit.
some guy came
I don't
in
trust. I don't trust them. You know.
Well, that's good because there
Because I
there
don't
should be
know
more
them.
people like
I
you.
trust- I
Because
trust
personally,
him,
if
you know?
a place
yeah.
does,
You
if
go to
it-
your homie who's
Yeah,
reviewed
it's
it
like, yo,
person
where,
to person.
Where did you eat today?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
trust you. Okay, let's go.
If I just moved to LA in April, so I'm like, yo, man, I don't know where to go. I pull out my Yelp,
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
by stars.
Has it worked?
Yeah, there's been a few misses.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a really unhealthy eater, so like, you know, around here it's a whole lot of
Unhealthy things.
no, very.
Oh, it's all healthy. Yeah,
you
I
know,
guess
it's just
LA,
a lot
right?
of like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
tender greens and all this. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm a new vegan.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what
Thank
made you
you.
go vegan?
I don't know. I think it was the blue hair. I just
Was
you
it
know.
was it the Netflix documentary? Was it?
Oh,
No,
that
which one
is
is that?
crazy.
I
The
watched it and I
Cowspiracy
thought
or
about-
Meat Company.
I thought about going vegan.
I just
and then
yeah,
I was like,
but
nah,
like,
I don't
you know,
need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a few of those things, and it was like, okay, yeah, this is really weird.
Won't even touch
Why
the
do
fish?
I eat this? No, I'm trying to be vegan. You know.
You're trying.
Yeah.
You
No,
might
I
partake in
love
some
fish.
sushi.
Fish, I can't.
Yeah,
I
fish
can't,
is the
I can't
best.
step back from.
Yeah,
it,
fish is
unfortunately.
amazing. You know.
I agree, man. All right, so the album comes out tomorrow. I know you got the family on the album. What parties
Yeah.
on the album?
Division, Partynextdoor, 2 collaborations that we wanted to happen not only for us but for our fans.
Yeah.
And we're just so proud that we have those moments on this next project, and we hope to keep collaborating with them the more careers intersect.
I'm curious. Do you guys ever feel like the Drake, like signing to Drake, is it a gift and a curse at times? Because obviously he's the biggest artist in the world.
I
But
think
there's so much.
It's a gift, man. Like it's only a gift.
It's how you look at
because-
it,
yeah.
right? It's,
Right.
it's for us. I was gonna say back when we were speaking about 40, one of the biggest reasons that we keep doing what we do is because somebody like him believed in us, you know, and he believed
that's
in Drake
big,
too.
of course, yeah,
he
of
believed
course.
in Drake too, and he believes in us, and that is invaluable. Like, as I said earlier, it's just something that we want to keep giving back, all that energy that you instilled in us from the very first day.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
And like, you know, like Maj said, like these collaborations on the album were just points in our careers that perfectly intersected, you know, and it keeps going like that. So it's like, it's a
And it's
gift,
fun, man. Like we
Yeah.
just link up and we're just like,
Yeah.
yo, where have you been?
Like
Oh, we're just
time
in
will
LA. We're
pass
here.
and people are still doing their own things, and we get to all come together as friends.
It's
and
a
then
celebration
things
every
happen, you know?
time.
So
Like,
it's a blessing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How awesome was it being a part of Hold On, We're Going Home, which is obviously
It's life changing.
Yeah, it changed our lives.
timeless music.
People,
You'll hear
people
it.
didn't. People had to search and look into our social media to find out who we are.
Right.
you know? So that just goes back to when you make music. If you're an artist, don't pay attention to trying to put your face and name on everything. It will travel. You have the resources now online. Anything you want to put out will travel and will connect if it stands that test. You know, and people will
100%.
share it. Like it's not a Yelp review. It's like me coming to you, being like, "What are you listening to?"
Yeah.
And that's how we hear a lot of our music. It's like our friends coming and showing us things.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
Have you heard this? Oh, I love it. I haven't heard it, but it's dope. Okay,
No.
next thing. So
100%.
yeah.
That's
Hold On
what's up, man.
showed us that at a mainstream level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great record, and you guys have come a long way. The album comes out tomorrow. For anybody who is it strictly going to be a streaming project? Obviously, the hard copy is very like a extinct thing, but people still go buy albums.
Oh, we're
It's
definitely
gonna be,
making a vinyl.
Yeah.
Ooh, a
He's
vinyl.
got- he's got
It's
me
got to be a blue vinyl.
Yo, he got me a record player for my birthday. My birthday just passed, so I got to get that vinyl. for
Vinyl's
my
where it's
house.
at. Like if you're gonna buy if you're gonna buy like a physical product, you got to get the vinyl.
Yeah,
man.
we have to. We're
100%.
100%. Yeah.
For everybody, what's the name of the album?
The Space Between is coming out Friday, October 27th.
Great Dave Matthews Band song.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
It is a Dave Matthews Band
Just
song.
random little.
Yes, it is. It is. I think is that the only other space between?
I don't know.
think so.
That's just what came in my head.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming out Friday, October 27th. If you're listening, go get it.
Go support it.
Go listen.
And I'm gonna let you
that.
guys introduce the new record, which is featuring Partynextdoor, your guys' label mate.
Yeah.
All right. So you're listening to One I Want, Majid Jordan featuring Partynextdoor.
Boom. Let's do it, man. It's Real 92.3.